We got another night at the office. Just three regular dudes talking sports. You can call us credible. You can call us liars. It don't matter. It don't matter. All right, we come through with the facts. We do our best to get them right. Y'all stay for them. We got Curtis over there. How you doing over there?
Yes, sir. Pretty good. Pretty good. It was a good week of football for some. Can't say it was a good week of football for y'all, but definitely some unexpected twists NFL-wise and college football-wise.
I mean, personally, the entire weekend overall, I actually had a decent weekend watching some good football games. Big Concho, what you looking at? How you feeling?
Hey, you know what? We were down bad on Sunday, but you know what? We're limping into the week. You know, obviously it was the holidays, so we got a day off yesterday and watched a little bit of college football. So all in all, it wasn't too bad. Just some shit went down on Sunday, as we all know.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. First off, we're going to congratulate Michigan. We're going to congratulate Washington making it to the college football championship. Starting off Michigan, Alabama, a defensive game. I would just my breakdown of this game is Saban just got outcoached. Milroe didn't play as well. This is the Milroe we saw. They got benched. I mean, obviously it's his first year starting, but he obviously made those first year mistakes in the game that you can't make those mistakes in. The Alabama center had a day. The fact that he was trending from quarter 2 to quarter 4 because of how low his snaps were the entire game, that's saying something. I mean, Milroe was struggling out there, and it showed even on that last drive. It was an RPO, and snap goes low. He has to run it up the middle like freaking Jalen Hurts, and it failed. J.J. McCarthy wasn't that great either in my eyes. He had some cool throws, that like backwards throw he did to the tight end off the trick play. That was clean, real clean. Bama special teams showed out. Kicker had 2+ 50-yard field goals, and then the punter had 5 punts inside the 20. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Forced Michigan to really run the ball. Corum would have a big day. McClellan had a big day. I mean, shout out Michigan. They just with a better team. I thought Bama kind of lost this game more, right? This was kind of like the Bama that lost against Texas and what was it, Southern Florida.
They almost lost to South Florida.
It was close though. Yeah,
that's where Miller got benched.
But I mean, what's your thoughts on the game?
I watched 95% of this game. Definitely, it was a good defensive battle. I think both teams had a lot of mistakes. Obviously, Michigan fumbled the punt return on the first quarter. Milroe had a big fumble in the third quarter at the 50-yard line there driving. Alabama was going in to take the lead. He fumbled. Michigan actually gets the ball there at their Alabama's 40. They couldn't get nothing done, drove out, and had a punt back. A very much field position game. A lot of the times defense, on both sides played very well. The defensive line for Michigan absolutely manhandled.
Monstrous. Top first 10 dropbacks, 4 of them were sacks.
Yeah, I mean, the first play of the game was a sack. It was they dominated most of the game. Milroe did have a couple of good scrambles that he definitely kept them on their toes a little bit. Obviously, he had the mistakes, but obviously Milroe actually kept them in the game, I believe, as well, as far as just he did extend plays. I mean, Alabama really doesn't get much done on the offensive end. They ran the ball pretty decently, I'd say. Though Michigan, Blake Corum, MVP of the game, played great as well. Got first downs when they needed him, and then also got the touchdown pass as well. And then he scored the final touchdown of the game. Michigan also missed 2 makeable field goals as well, and they missed the extra point. So, I mean, there was Michigan. They tried to give this game to Bama. They played overall better than Bama did. And looking at it, you got to congratulate Michigan on this one.
Yep. Credit, what you got on it?
Yeah, I mean, just looking back on it, I'm looking at the stats right now. I mean, watching the game, you would have thought that almost Michigan had the ball more, but Alabama had the ball more by about 15%. They had the ball about 65% of the game, whereas Michigan only had the ball about 35% of the game. Michigan just was more efficient with the ball. I wouldn't say it was really, like y'all were saying, an offensive battle by any means. I think it was really just a defensive battle all the way throughout, and Michigan's defense came out on top. Michigan has been ranked 1 for the last 4 or 5 weeks of the regular season, I believe.
Prove it.
I feel like they deserve it at this point. Everyone was counting them out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Alabama had a favorite of -6 or something like that, which is pretty disrespectful for the first ranked team. Michigan came out and showed. Their defense had that great stop on that 2-yard line, preventing Alabama to get that win. And then, like you said, all it took was just the 2 plays in the overtime, and they came out and settled business. So definitely going to be a crazy finals between Washington and Michigan. I'm excited. I think Washington's definitely a more offensive team. Michigan's more defensive team. So it'll just be 2 of the opposite side battles, or 2 of the opposite side of the ball battles. And so it'll be a great game, I feel like.
Oh yeah, for sure. And with Alabama, I mean, do you keep? I mean, I don't even know who's in their the little quarterback room, but I mean, it's Milroe's first year starting. You benched him in the beginning of the year. He shows up and then he makes. I mean, even in the Georgia game, that play before the game-winning play was terrible, right? He almost lost 10 yards on it or something like that. But yeah, I don't see how. Saban just keep Milroe in personally, just with the standard that Alabama brings to the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah, luckily for them, Alabama always has a great transfer portal, so I wouldn't be too stressed out Alabama by any means. They're always top 3 with pickups in the transfer. Everyone wants to go to Alabama, all the top stars. So I feel like even if Milroe does not come out to be the top quarterback prospect next year, they have so many good prospects that come to that college every single year anyways, to where they'll be able to figure it out. Even so, I wouldn't say Milroe was the top 10 quarterback at all by any means in the college football this year. And, I mean, they made semifinals. So nowadays, in today's football, especially in NFL, it's going to show that you really don't need a top 5 quarterback to get far. As long as you have a solid core all the way around you, you can beat a lot of teams. That's for damn sure.
And the fact that Michigan overcame the turnovers, because wasn't there another punt fumble in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, the last punt of the game.
Yeah,
he fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line.
I remember saying he sold
damn near a safety. Yeah,
that
could have been I would have won the game right there. Honestly, the craziest thing you'd ever see.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing, throwing the game away? But I mean, Michigan outlasted. I mean, even in the beginning of the game, I'm like, first play of the game, J.J. McCarthy throwing an interception. I'm like, bro, you're supposed to throw it out of bounds. But they outlast. Do I think they'll go crazy with it? I just think it'll be a defensive battle. But we're going to get into Washington and why I think Washington is still going all the way. Washington, Texas, Michael freaking Penix Jr. Everyone doubting on him. Y'all both picked Texas over them.
Yep.
And I'll never forget, you keep doubting the Washington. You said Oregon was going to beat Washington when they beat them early in the season. What Washington do? They beat Oregon again.
That's true.
All right. Every time they are underdogs, they show up. Now, I get the criticism behind Penix, right? He's 24. He has an injury history. But the way he's played this year, runner-up to the Heisman, I mean, you got to take him first round. Now, I know injury history scares teams, but late first rounder is not too far to say. I think the mock draft had him at pick 40, pick 50. I'm like, that's way too low for a quarterback like that. The throws he was making were insane. Everything was dropping the bucket, crazy accuracy. Rome Odunze is also a crazy wide receiver. I mean, that offense is just dynamic. I love watching them. Texas, Quinn Ewers didn't play that great. Xavier Howard, is that his name? The wide receiver?
Xavier Howard.
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy. He was obviously disappointing after the game. The running game wasn't as stout as it usually is for Texas. Texas usually stops the running game, which they actually did for Washington, but it forced Penix to throw the ball, and that boy, he slayed all over it. What was it, 430 on the ground?
30, 29, 38.
It don't get no better than that.
Yeah.
He showed up and showed out. Shout out to Washington. I took Washington all the way when they released the rankings, so I'm going to stick with them. But what y'all got in the game?
I mean, I was kind of surprised with the way that Texas defense performed, if we're going to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. Washington, I would say, with the way that it looked last night, I would say Washington has the best offense of those 4 teams. If we're just judging based on these past weekend games, Washington has the best offense by far of those 4 teams.
For sure.
With the way that Texas' defense, though, I mean, Texas' defense nearly got them to where they're at. I mean, don't get me wrong, Quentin Ewers is great. The running game is phenomenal. Even so, the Texas running game was phenomenal this last week. They had 180 rush yards. They split it up 64, 59, 54 between 3 players. I mean, so they're diverse in the running game. They were able to pick up the yards. It's just they really couldn't make any of the big plays happen. They could get the yards going, but then the drives would end before it needed to get something done. Quentin Ewers wasn't able to get nearly as many throwing touchdowns. He's averaging about 3.5 throwing touchdowns a game this year. He's only able to throw for 1 touchdown this week. But even so, it really wasn't a defense battle by any means. I feel like as long as either of those offenses were out on the field, they had a pretty good damn chance of getting 7 points on the board. So it's really just a shootout at the end of the day. Great football from both. But Washington came out on top. Phoenix, I mean, with the way that he's played this last week, if we did Hall of Fame, Heisman votes again, do you think Phoenix would get the Heisman?
I thought he should have got the Heisman anyway, but Jaden Daniels had a historically bad defense, so it was hard not to give it to him, Like him putting up those stats with a bad defense, I mean, I get it, but I thought Phoenix should have won it.
Yeah.
What about you, Dalton? What you got on it?
Yeah,
I know you didn't watch much of it.
I know that Texas. I want to look at this game, and I know that Texas definitely had an opportunity to win the game in the last play of the game. I don't know if y'all seen that. So I will say that I want to give props to Texas for getting this far this year. That program's been under for about 15 years now. So for them to get there, they played they kept it competitive in the game. Michael Penix played great, of course, there on Washington. And you got to look at it this way. I mean, the better quarterback won the game, and great quarterbacks win. So you look at it that way. I think this is just another stepping stone into the 12-team playoff next year. But we're all looking forward to. I think this is probably the best 2 playoff games we got in 1 year.
For sure.
There's usually one good and the other one's bad. Usually the 1-4 game is not as good. So and the 2-3 is usually pretty damn good. So we got a great 1-4 game and probably even a better 2-3 game.
So, let me ask though. So, and this will probably be the last question before we move on. With the Alabama-Georgia loss, right? We know Georgia's stacked all around. Yeah. Milroe puts a lucky play up. If Georgia wins that game, are they the best team in the playoffs right now?
I mean, Georgia would beat Michigan. Is that what we're asking?
I think they would.
Georgia would have been the one, so it would have been Texas, probably. It would have been, what, Texas?
Well, I think Washington State at 2. I think Georgia would have probably just gotten 3. And then Texas might have been 4.
The argument would have been would Texas even got in.
Oh, yeah, because the FSU.
Yeah, because then you don't even know if you put Texas if Alabama's not in.
I don't know. I just think that you put Georgia in these playoffs, they probably perform better than Bama. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Bama, they won by a string against Auburn. We watched that here. So you look at it this way, the 12-team playoffs definitely going to be a better settlement. I mean, I want to end also on another question. Do y'all think this is the end of Alabama at this point?
No, it's safe.
Or do you think Alabama will be back next year just as
they'll be back. It's just the competition's more stiff, and with a 12-team playoff, there's less room for mistakes. I mean, actually, there's more room for mistakes, but there's less room for you to be making the personnel mistakes. Like, if you have a better quarterback than Milroe at the time, you probably win that game.
Yeah. See, now that game's already happened, that whole FSU debacle right before, would FSU have really put up a good of a game as Alabama did?
It just depends how good that backup QB is. We know what the team is. The team's good. How good is the quarterback?
FSU, everyone was giving shit for it. I mean, they did get their ass kicked by Georgia. But, I mean, they didn't even have 30 of their players.
They basically boycotted the game. So.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't even look at that as being a measuring stick for Florida State.
But, who y'all got? I know I got Washington. Who y'all got?
Yeah, the way it's looking, I'm thinking Washington.
Hunter, who you got?
You either pick the better quarterback or the better coach. I'm gonna go coach. I'm gonna take Michigan.
That's fair. That's fair. I would definitely say Harbaugh's the better coach, but Penix though. But you gotta watch those throws he was making. Those throws were insane. But moving on, going to NFL Sunday. Had a big week, or I guess NFL Saturday, right? Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So
Both.
yeah, let's get into controversial Detroit Cowboys. Yep. Cowboys escape with a win. Controversial call at the end because of a trick play, which may not even been an issue had Dan Campbell not been aggressive. You could make that argument. But at the same time, I'm also hearing Dan Campbell go to the refs, try to explain the play before the game, but it was so confusing that the refs still got confused when the play happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, however that even shakes up, I think the refs should have got consequences if that was the case, right? If you actually got told and still messed it up. But I'm going to let the NFL handle that. It was a good game nonetheless. Both defenses showed up. Jared Goff had a rough night. Dak did what he could, made some good plays. CD had a big night. I freaking look up and CD had like 150 in the first half or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Cowboys won the game, right? You could say Detroit wanted it, but Detroit's still a playoff team, right? They said they'll see them in the playoffs, and I believe it. Honestly, if Detroit was to face Dallas again in the playoffs, they might be a different result. I'm not going to confirm which would win. I think that's a toss-up, but
Yeah, I'm not trying to butt into your thing. Definitely, you've seen in that game that Detroit looks like they could beat Dallas.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In Dallas, like on the road in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something you got to take.
That was probably, that was really the only contender to go into Dallas.
Seattle.
Besides us. Oh, in Seattle. Besides us in Seattle, and actually give them a challenge. So, it's like you said, if they were to go back into AT&T, I think it might be a different result or at least a closer game than it already was. What y'all got on it?
Honestly, I'm going to say the Lions would have won this game if it wasn't for Jared Goff. Don't get me wrong, that controversial call at the end, it could, I would say, especially if they did tell him about it before, then yeah, they have the win already secured. But if Jared Goff doesn't make those mistakes, he had I think 3 or 4 balls thrown that were just 5 yards away from any receiver whatsoever.
Yeah, he had a bad night.
He had those interceptions that, just was not a Jared Goff night for some reason. Lions defense came out solid. Hutchinson had 3 sacks, which is insane against that Cowboys offensive line. But Dak Prescott played well, if we're going to be honest. He was 26 for 38. He had his wideouts ready to play. CeeDee Lamb had, like you said, almost 250 yards, which is fucking insane. He had 17 targets, so it didn't really matter who they put on him. He was still getting the ball. Brandon Cooks played well as well. He had 8 targets, about 70 yards, 60 yards. But with that being said, we're going to talk about some of the highlights that the Lions did besides Jared Goff. Because besides Jared Goff, I would say the Lions played pretty great. Their running game, Antonio St. Brown, he had that one carry, that was that one trick. Not the very end, but yeah. Exactly, where he got that sneak. But then Montgomery played pretty well, 14 carries, 65 yards. Gibbs couldn't really get anything going, unfortunately. They held him pretty well. He's 15 carries, 40 yards.
I thought that was Gibbs' fault. Gibbs was just missing a step in the game.
Yeah, definitely seemed to be rookie mistakes, which is weird because he has not really made rookie mistakes for being a rookie. Laporta played well as well. Their tight end, he was not really. He was kind of a tank down the middle of that field. They were kind of struggling to keep up with him at times. It seemed like, but
Laporta's top 5 in the league. There's no discussing it. Top 5 tight end.
Yeah, definitely one of the greats, especially right now. Definitely helping Lions be where they're at.
Did he win Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
Important now.
Who's up? Someone was up. CJ, right? But CJ got hurt, so that affected the odds. I remember that.
But besides that, I feel like if Lions keep on playing like this and Jared Goff actually plays like the Jared Goff we all know and love, Lions will definitely be a threat in the playoffs. I think they should have won this game if it wasn't for Jared Goff single-handedly. But Cowboys put up their regular consistent numbers. They're still only able to get 20 points out of that. So Lions really didn't make any mistakes crucially as a team themselves. I'm going to put more so all the blame on Jared Goff himself. And I would say because of the 1 week occurrence, because it's not a normal Jared Goff thing, I think the Lions should be pretty set for the playoffs whenever they start.
Yep. Yeah, we already know. I mean, two playoff teams, two heavyweight fights. I mean, they'll probably see each other again, and if they don't, I mean, we'll talk about their playoff win. But very solid game by both of them.
I think, I hate Dallas with passion, of course, but if there is someone that can turn their fucking playoff fortunes around, I think CeeDee Lamb is the best Dallas Cowboys player in the last 25 years. CeeDee Lamb might be. I've watched him all year.
Skill position, yeah.
CeeDee Lamb might be he is the best wide receiver in the league right now. I think CeeDee Lamb.
I just had this discussion. I said I would still take AJ over CD because CD still has the speed. He gets open in the open field, but AJ will knock off any tackle. Right? You see the catches AJ be making.
AJ be fumbling. AJ be fumbling. I like CeeDee Lamb.
CD fumbled. He fumbled into the end zone, and it was a touchback. By the way, I do think the touchback is a good rule. It helps defenses because all these penalties are against the help the offense. I'm like, if an offensive player gets that close and fumbles, he deserves to lose the ball. He deserves it. So I don't think that rule should go away. But yeah,
shout out to honestly, Dak Prescott on the 92-yard touchdown to CeeDee Lamb. Dak Prescott, he escaped pressure and did it basically back the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the best plays of the year. Even as an Eagles fan watching that, CeeDee Lamb. He beat what's the coverage out there, but single high safety. It was beautiful, honestly. That was going to be a tough team to beat, on the road. I guess or at home, I guess you should say. So, shout out to them. Detroit could have won this
McCarthy,
game.
though. McCarthy's going to cost them. That clock management in the fourth quarter, abysmal.
Be the kryptonite of Dallas. I think Dak Prescott will not be the kryptonite this year.
Dak Prescott's been playing well, I got to say. He's in his 8th year, though. He's been due for a big year.
Or the fall of Tony Pollard as well.
Oh, yeah, Tony Pollard. I'm just saying, like I said the other week, Zeke, they missed Zeke.
Yeah.
Next game up, we got, what was it? New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Saints looking like the team that I thought they were going to be, but it doesn't matter because they're not consistent. They do keep their playoff hopes alive. I don't really want the Saints to make the playoffs, though. That's the issue. I think they have to win and then get a bunch of help to even make the playoffs, with other wins. But Saints can pack that up. Baker Mayfield. Baker was trash this game, right?
Baker was trash this game.
Yeah, so I didn't really. I watched the highlights on this one, but Curtis would probably speak better to him. Baker, his guy, Mr. Baker for MVP.
So first half Baker was absolutely trash. I think he finished the first half with 100 yards, 2 interceptions or something like that. Second half there was a little bit more life, but at that point it was too late. Morales were way too down. The Saints had taken a pretty significant lead. I'm pretty sure 21-3 or something like that at the time, or something pretty close. So it was not a whole lot of life on the Buccaneers, unfortunately, in that first half, which is, if they would have won, they would have been guaranteed the playoff spot. So it was a big game for them, definitely high rolls. Derek Carr came out, and he actually played a pretty decent game, fighting for his team to still make the playoffs, which they definitely could do. Right now, it all lies on Buccaneers losing in Week 18. If Buccaneers lose Week 18, then any of those other teams in the division could take it. I think Saints or the Falcons right now, as long as either of them win and Bucs lose. No, I'm sorry. As long as Saints win this next week, Saints win, Bucs lose, Saints get in. Saints lose, Bucs lose, then Falcons get in if they win. So this division at this point, unfortunately, really could go any way. When with the last 2 weeks, how Buccaneers have played, I feel like they should have been guaranteed the spot. With the last 2 weeks, with how Baker Mayfield especially has played, they look like they were actually going to be a threat in the playoffs. He was putting up phenomenal QBR. He was putting up making phenomenal passes. And this last week, he made mistakes that he should not have made. Both of those interceptions are 100% his fault. Can't even blame the wideouts on that. It was a pitiful performance for Baker. We'll highlight Johnson as well on the Saints. He put up the 8 receptions. He had almost 100 yards. They really could not stop him at all. Any of the quarterbacks on the Buccaneers, he had those inside slants. I think he caught like 6 or 7 of those inside slants. They just could not get used to that. Taysom Hill as well. I mean, as diverse of a player he is, they put him everywhere again, and it was effective everywhere. He had a few of those runs, which helped out a lot, and then they put him in a quarterback a couple times, and he got that 11 yards, that one sneak pass. So, the Saints definitely a sneaky team. Disappointing for the Buccaneers, 100%. I'm not sure at this point who's going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, if they both lose, then they Bucks make it in. But I didn't even know that there would be the freaking 4 seed. I forgot. Yeah, because there'll be Philly would be 5th because of the wild card. That's tough. That's tough as fuck. But then that changes the matchup to either Seattle at Dallas or the Packers at Dallas. And if the Packers walked in there and Jordan Love beats Dallas, oh man, I'm not a year. I don't even care if he would make the Super Bowl. Jordan Love beating the Cowboys, beautiful. But moving on, we got Tennessee, Houston. I mean, I said Tennessee was gonna win this game, but I was kind of messing around. But CJ Stroud showing out. Titans kind of, just ended a little tenure. Vrabel's probably gonna be gone. Will Levis stepped in for a little bit. Tannehill. I mean, I don't know. Titans just don't really have an identity to me. Seems like they need to blow it up. Houston still making their playoff case. They would get in if they win, right?
Yeah,
because they face the Colts. Yeah,
Colts game. That's winning in. And then they could also win the division if Jacksonville loses, which Jacksonville hasn't looked very good in the last
at all.
month. So.
And Jacksonville faces what? Who they face? Oh, the Titans. Well,
yeah, Jacksonville faces.
And Titans are good enough to beat any team defensively, right? And Jaguars haven't looked good, so we'll see how that shapes up. What y'all got on Houston ceiling?
Yeah, I mean they play with the Colts this week, so it'll be a huge test on. This will be a good little starting playoff round. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean this is a wildcard game. It feels like.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Because I mean, whoever wins this, if Texans win this and they make the playoffs, if Colts, Colts only make it if they win.
Yeah.
So they both are fighting for a playoff spot this next week. It looks like. I'm glad that CJ Stroud's coming out and looking great as well. I was kind of worried after that concussion. I mean, they made it seem like a huge deal.
By the way, his odds are still the same to win Rookie of the Year. Yeah, they went back up to minus 850.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that they took the precautions that they actually needed to for a young star like that. I feel as though concussion should be kind of treated like that, to where you have to 110% guarantee that there's no underlying indications that there's CTE still there or anything like that. So I'm glad that they actually took the precautions they needed to make sure CJ Stroud was 100% healthy, and it clearly paid off. I mean, Texas came out and kind of put a whooping on the Titans. I did not see that coming because, like you said, they're defensively are kind of a front. I think as of right now, the Texans would be great playoff contenders. CJ Stroud could use the experience.
Yep. By the way, Will Anderson, dog at defensive, 2 sacks. Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah. I think this could definitely either way. I feel like Colts aren't a terrible team either by any means. I just feel as though it would be more exciting right now to put the young rookie CJ Stroud inside the playoffs just to get him that experience, because I feel like he could be one of the league great quarterbacks as the years come on.
But if the Colts make it, Shane Steichen got to win Coach of the Year, especially when you add the holes in the Eagles' offense right now. You could say that Shane Steichen might have been the damn head coach last year.
Yeah.
We got next up. Oh yeah, Arizona, Philly. Let's get into it. I ain't got much to say for this one, right? I'm gonna just say coaching is bad fundamentally, right? I feel like we need to, after this year, whatever the result is, need to hire coordinators outside of the Sirianni tree, because obviously it seems like he had yes men in his building, and we need some fresh eyes, fresh looks on the plays. As of right now, Sirianni is the coordinator merchant. Brian Johnson, I seen his press conference today. I don't even want to talk about it because it just pissed me off how he explained that last drive. I just want to Quarterback run, minus 4 yards. Quarterback run, minus 6 yards. Timeout. 4 minutes left on the clock. What do we do? Bubble screen with Smitty as the lead backer, and it got him hurt. If Smitty had a season-ending injury, I would have fired Brian Johnson on the fucking spot. On the spot. And that was shitty. That was just shitty. And I'm going to blame Howie just a little bit for how he constructed the defense. I said before the year, because Jalen had a statement. He said, I don't need to get paid right now. I want to win. What do? We still pay him. I understand that. Why? Because the quarterback market goes up this year. I completely understand. But when we're in a championship window, you got to save that money. You got to build the defense. It costs us. We don't have a linebacker. Morrow looks awful. Shaq looks slow. Yeah, that's on Howie. We should have gotten CJ. CJ's a turnover machine, and we can't get turnovers.
No.
Yeah, Dalton, you take it away.
Oh boy. And I watched this game, and it's sad because we were up 21-6 at half, and I still felt like we were fucking losing. It did not even feel like we were up. It felt like we were down by 21 points, and we were just jogging into the locker room. This team's fucking cancerous, bro. This team is a fucking wreck. We have absolutely no leadership on this team. And I'm about to call out the whole team. And I'm going to start at the top. We'll start fucking High Roseman with the idea that we got rid of our playmaking secondary. CJ Gardner-Johnson out. We re-signed Bradbury, toast. Darius Slay, hurt. We got linebacker court, hurt. Jacoby Dean, hurt. Nolan Smith plays 10 snaps a game.
And he doesn't know what he's doing.
Out of shape. Jordan Davis, out of shape. Jalen Carter can't handle his emotions. Defensive ends, getting old. Our whole defense is aging. We thought we bought in with Jalen Carter. He's played well. And he's been one of our bright spots on defense.
He's actually
Blankenship plays with heart at least, and he tries, but he's not a very talented player by any means. I mean, I think our steal of the draft is, Keely Ringo. He's played pretty well, honestly. I mean, he's been a pretty solid corner. We're going to start there with Howie Roseman. We go down the tree. We got Nick Sirianni. Like you said, maybe an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, Merchant. You got to look at it this way. Dude has not took any accountability of this shit. There is absolutely no accountability. And I understand, Brian Johnson has been absolutely horrible. But at some point, as the head coach, you got to look at this and say, okay, we got to do something different. You can blame Brian Johnson first 4 weeks, 6 weeks of the season. I understand, okay, he's moving into this. But at some point, you got to make the adjustment. You got to get rid of his ass. You got to take over play call. You cannot tell me that on the fucking 1st and 20, we run the quarterback draw, we run it again. Nick Sirianni, there's no way he doesn't have the power to say, okay, we're not doing this shit. Let's call this play.
I thought Jalen should have called audible.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know what the hell happened. Like, why can't Nick Sirianni take ownership for anything? Why is it always, we got to get better? Well, yes, you got to get better. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to just, we're not we made a playoff team. And he said that shit. That's not what we are. If we were in the playoff, we were in the Super Bowl last year. The goal is to get back to the Super Bowl. A.J. Brown. We got all these stars that we're not going to have forever. Payroll's payroll. I get it. People want to get paid. It's life. And, our championship window is probably, this is it. And the team has absolutely fell apart. And we're going to keep going down the tree with the coaches. Brian Johnson, he needs to be either fucking fired or removed of play calling duties. I understand Jalen Hurts loves a guy, and I get that, but we got to do something different.
Yeah.
Let him move back to quarterback coach.
Yeah.
And move someone into different player. I guess I wanted to say Nick Sirianni, but it looks like he doesn't know what he's doing either. So that's probably our biggest problem. And then we're going to skip coaching. We'll go to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts needs to take control of the locker room at this point. I feel like he's not even speaking up on the problems. It's always the same old,
The main thing.
Main thing. Well, the main thing's not been the main thing now. We're not winning. You know what I mean? We're falling apart. A.J. Brown is absolutely pissed off I don't even want to say that he's been a problem because everyone's pissed off.
Everyone.
I mean, obviously it's a distraction, but when everyone is pissed off, it's not a distraction because at this point, it's not just him that's pissed off. Devontae Smith is probably the biggest team player that I know on our team. Devontae Smith, dude loves to win, dude loves to play, he has fun.
You send him out there to get hurt.
He's pissed off, he's fucking throwing his helmet. He's, what the fuck is the play call? You know what I mean? Like, there are so many things that is just wrong with this team. And I can fucking continue to go on. Defense played absolutely just fucking horrible. And you know what? Jalen Hurts probably played his best game of the year. I mean, with no turnovers, he played pretty damn good. Obviously, we didn't have the ball very much. But, I mean, we scored when we had the ball. Obviously, the play calls, everything. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know who's responsible for that. I don't know if that's Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts needs to make that call to do something different than fucking quarterback draw.
Yo.
Like, we can't run the same play twice. Try to catch him off guard bullshit that Ryan Johnson said in the interview today. I don't know. I can go on, and it's ridiculous. This fucking team is just an absolute disaster, and it's so crazy to think. And they were like, well, the Eagles could pull off a miracle, go to the Super Bowl. It shouldn't be a fucking miracle. We have the best roster in the league. This is not a miracle for the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl.
The roster's stacked. Everyone says the roster is stacked.
It's fucking crazier because, end of the day, Dallas, I wouldn't bank on Dallas winning next week. I would not, or this week. Eagles can still be the 2 seed if Dallas loses this week and the Eagles win. Eagles got a winnable game. Dallas has a very losable game on the road against Washington.
What?
Very losable game. But I'm saying, I'm not going to bank on that. I'm just saying, with all the crazy shit behind, all this, fucked up shit with the team, we still could have the 2 seed this week. And it's just crazy. Go ahead, Jared, Curtis.
But before you get to Curtis, I want to end up on the defensive play. I don't think it's Jordan Davis's or JC's fault. If you look at the edge, Sweat is getting burned this year.
I don't even know Sweat.
Sweat's getting burned this year, and they're running outside the edge. There's not that much Jordan Davis can do.
He may as well be going and blocking them.
I think Jordan Davis is actually doing well considering what the scheme is, right? Yeah. If you scheme it better, JC and Jordan Davis would be absolutely insane. And the Nolan Smith issue, he just doesn't have a linebacker to learn off of because Dean's hurt, and everybody else don't know what the fuck they're doing. But go ahead, Chris.
I mean, I feel like y'all have talked on the Eagles pretty well so far, so I'm just going to talk about the Cardinals real quick. Kyler Murray played a great game, if we're going to be honest, this last week. I mean, he made the Eagles defense look like they were not a top 5 defense, which
And before you continue, you think the Cardinals keep him too? Or do you think they get rid of him?
I don't know if he wants to stay. I don't think it's about the Cardinals wanting to keep him. I think it's about if Kyler actually wants to stay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not even like Kyler Murray's a bad quarterback. He has injury prone, which makes him an unreliable long-term option, I feel like. But whenever he plays well, he plays well.
Yeah,
He was 25 for 31 this last week. He had 232 yards, but he had the highest efficiency rating of every other quarterback in the league this last week. He threw 3 touchdowns. But with that being said, James Conner went off on y'all's rushing defense.
After week 10, we're literally last in rushing yards. Defender against, we're literally last.
He had 26 carries for 130 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry almost. I mean, he just could not be stopped. He had that 122-yarder, which got them that drive, that touchdown for the Cardinals. I'm sorry. I mean, even so, Kyler Murray was a little scrambly on his feet as well, which he's done in the past. I just wasn't sure if he was going to because of.
Which everyone's can scramble when your linebackers move at freaking 5'5", 40. Like, God damn.
I mean, besides those highlighted offensive plays, I mean, y'all touched on the Eagles pretty well. From here, the Eagles, are they going to win 2 playoff rounds?
Here's my thing. It's like a weight lifted off my shoulders. The expectation for a Super Bowl is gone in my head, personally. But that makes it even better because if they can somehow win by like 3 or 4 scores next week and then win that first round playoff game pretty handily, I might be back in on it, right? But the expectation in my head is just gone because I don't want to go too high when they're playing this dog shit. Like it's just stressful.
All right, are we going to put more blame on the Eagles coaching or on the Eagles defense?
It's an organizational collapse on the year. Because how do you go 10? I mean, granted, the offense had problems all year, even with the win. We know that.
Yeah,
if you're a real Eagles fan, you knew that. You
Yeah.
didn't sit there and was blindly watching the damn game. Like, we knew we could get torched. We knew the secondary was a problem, but we were still winning the game. And so when you lose these last couple of games, especially against the fucking Cardinals, a freaking lottery team. We lost to a lottery team. It's just tough to win back from. I mean, we got the Giants next week. Hell, Giants should probably be favored.
Everyone says that the 49ers broke us.
No.
And I look at our schedule and I'm just like,
no.
I look at our schedule and I say, you know what? I'll take the loss to the 49ers.
Like I said, if we make 2 plays different, the game's different.
Yeah. I'll take the loss in Dallas after getting our ass kicked against the 49ers. It makes a little bit of sense. I think the game in Seattle where Drew Lock goes down and scores with a minute left, I think that was the definite ultimate collapse for us. Ever since then, it ain't been the same. At least with the 49ers in Dallas, we played hard. We turned the ball over against Dallas 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely kept us out of the game. But I think after losing the heartbreaker in Seattle, I think this team is just, their head's just not in it. They just feel like, it's just over for us. And it's crazy because it's not. We still could have won the division. We still can somehow. And it's just like, it's almost like they just almost got in their head about everything. And it was, everyone was upset and mad. At the end of the day, I mean, we're still 11-5, but you're still going to be in the playoffs. And once you're in the playoffs, I mean, you never know what can happen. We're still the best team on paper. I mean, outside of maybe the 49ers. So it's like,
I'm just going into the playoff with no expectation. I know we have the talent to win it all if we just lock in. But until I fucking see it, I mean,
is there a quarterback? I mean, is there a quarterback that's going to outplay Jalen Hurts in the playoffs in the NFC?
The only one would probably be Dak, just because
like
he did it.
Matthew Stafford, maybe.
Yeah, Dak and Matthew, because Matthew has 2 weapons and Dak has CD. But other than that, I mean, Baker's not outperforming Jalen. I mean, Brock Purdy, I guess maybe just because of his weapons, maybe it'd probably be like another close game like him and Patty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, if we get the right path, Eagles will probably end up in the conference championship. But I don't know. Shit.
I mean, the path that if we're the 5 seed, we're gonna play the. It's gonna look at it. We're gonna play San Francisco in the division round.
Let's look at it.
So Dallas is gonna play. Dallas will draw the Lions most likely. That's the 2 seed. Lions are gonna be the 3 seed.
The Green Bay.
They'll draw Green in round 1, but round 2, I'm saying if the Eagles, we're going to draw Tampa Bay round 1, and then we're going to have to go to San Francisco.
Got you.
Now that might be the damn best divisional game in the history of the playoffs, but I mean, I'm looking at your screen, Curtis. I mean, that Chiefs Bills game is crazy.
The Chiefs Bills game is going to be great. Honestly, I feel like that Ravens Brown games will be a phenomenal game as well.
Yeah.
Browns are the only one that have securely stopped the Ravens this year.
Crazy to think that, too.
Crazy to think that. And now
Who else the Ravens lose to? Cincinnati? No.
Bengals. They fucked around on the Bengals, right? No, Steelers. They lost to the Steelers once.
That's crazy.
They lost to the Steelers once. They lost to the Browns once.
They got embarrassed by one team, and then the games were close, I assume, right? I heard they lost to
the Bengals, right? They lost to the Bengals.
No.
No.
They lost to the Colts by 3. Lost to the Steelers.
The overtime Colts game, right?
Yeah, overtime.
Yeah, I remember that. They were fucking around on that.
Oh, I lied. I thought the Browns kind of stomped on Ravens. The most Ravens lost is 7, and that was the Steelers.
Yeah, they when they lose, they just fuck around. Like, those are the games they literally should win. That's why people were saying they should be undefeated this year. Because, like, they just fuck around and do stuff. And, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. We're just going to leave the Eagles alone. Next up, San Francisco, Washington. Not really much to talk about. Washington, not really a good team. San Fran handled business, clinched the 1 seed. I mean, is there much to say? I mean, they're the 1 seed. I mean, we know what the 49ers expect. They got a first-round bye. C-Mac is hurt. They're going to sit him next week. He'll probably be good for playoffs. What y'all got on it?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 49ers came out and did the usual 49ers thing. It's a pretty dominant game.
Mm-hmm.
Washington didn't really have any life at all. Sam Howell, it's the Jameis Winston of 2024 at this point. He puts up yards, he can get the great passes in, but
No, stop it. Stop the disrespect. He's not famous Jameis.
He's the Jameis Winston when Jameis Winston was starting on the Saints. How about that? We'll put it that way. He can put up the numbers.
Yeah.
He can put up. If you ignore the turnovers that he commits, he looks like a great quarterback. And then you look at, oh shit, he has as many interceptions as he does touchdowns, and it's a different picture.
Yeah.
If he can get that under control, the thing is, I'm not sure he can get that under control. I'm afraid his future's going to end up like Jameis Winston, to where he's going to end up on a backup for a team somewhere.
He'd be a really good backup. I think so.
Yeah.
He'd probably be a really good second string, but I don't know about the starter.
Yeah, I'm not sure that. He's a franchise quarterback by any means. 49ers had their usual offensive weapons. They came out, Ayuk, Samuel, McCaffrey, Kittle. They all put up their regular numbers. Brock Purdy didn't have any turnovers this week, which is a great sign, because normally he does sometimes struggle with that. I would say that was his main, is just making those crucial mistakes just for no reason at all. I think that was the biggest 49ers issue. This last week he didn't put up any. Of course, it wasn't a great defense that he had to go against, so I'm not even sure that this is a real test for them. This next week they play. Who do they play this next week? But it looks like they're going to be sitting out a bunch of their starters anyway, so we really don't even see what they're able to warm up with this next week either. Really, the only big games this next week are the ones that are fighting for the playoffs. Every other team that has a guaranteed spot has already said that they're setting out starters. I think with the way that it's going, the 49ers will still make the Super Bowl, even with their last.
Shut up! No.
Even with their last few
Fuck
losses
the
in a few weeks, I think that they're still the best team in the NFC.
Nope.
Who do you think is better?
Oh no, they're the best team, but they're not making the Super Bowl. They're not making the Super Bowl. Here's the thing about the NFC right now. There's no team besides the Ravens that you can just say are just the most dominant team. Even in the NFC, the 49ers could be had by the Rams. I guess we're about to find out, but they could be had by the Rams. They could be had by the Lions. If Dallas heats up, hey, you get. No, San Fran wouldn't walk into AT&T. But say like the Dallas goes back into 49, you think they have the same game? No. Like, you're not going to blow a team out twice, and if you do, Dallas needs to. Whew. But I just don't think it's really cut and dry for the NFC, and I think we saw that with the Ravens, right? Ravens, you gave a little small blueprint, right? There's not really a team good enough besides the Rams to really test that blueprint out into the playoff. So until we get to the playoff, I'm just not going to say 49ers are just a lock in.
Now, question I have for you guys. So San Francisco locked up the 1 seed. They're probably going to rest starters this week.
I think they should play a half.
So is that going to be?
I think they should play a half.
You think so?
I think they should play like the first half.
They're looking at, playing, going 2 or 3 weeks without playing. I don't know if that's going to, like you said, they probably play the first half because, that rust does build up on you, and I think that's going to be something they're going to have to look into as far as this week. I know they don't want to get hurt. I know McCaffrey's not playing at all, but you got to look at it that way. I'm ready for the damn playoffs because I don't want to lose faith in Philly because I know that
we got the team.
Goddamn, got the team.
We just got to
I
lock
hate
in.
the 49ers so much, and I hate Dallas even more. And I'm at the point now where I'm ready for the damn playoffs.
I just think we need to hit the playoffs. I think we need to get rid of this Giants game.
Yeah,
hopefully, it's probably gonna be another close game. We just need to win it, get the rust off, and lock in for the playoffs. But next up, Rams, Giants. I texted y'all before the games. I'm like, don't be afraid of these underdogs, bro. These underdogs are gonna get some trouble. And lo and behold, Giants taking the Rams to the end, missed the field goal to almost win the game. That would have changed the Rams' chances, right?
Yeah. Them winning this last week brought them in the playoff spot.
Yeah.
So the Rams are guaranteed.
Wayne Seahawks lost.
Yeah. So I was like, these underdogs. When you have nothing to lose, it's easy to try to want to knock off some of these teams, right? And but Rams still took care of business. I mean, Matt had 2 interceptions. You can't really have that in the playoffs. Kyron Williams has definitely been a top 10 running back this year. That him activating his run game has put the Rams over in most of these games. Puka, second runner-up for Rookie of the Year, another big game, 118. I mean, Rams are still dangerous. But like in a game like this, when it's the Giants, I mean, I guess Giants had a close game against the Eagles, right? But it's when a team gets hot, the team gets hot, and I mean, I'm still locked with Matt Stafford. I mean, they won the game. That's all you can ask for. But what y'all got on it?
Yeah, I think the Rams are scary. Rams are a scary team, I think, in the playoffs. I think 49ers especially should be afraid of the Rams. The Rams have beat them plenty of times in the last 5 years. So I think, look at it this way, Rams are probably the scariest team in the NFC. As far as just like teams you just don't want to play.
I'm not going to lie. I might just say Dallas. Dallas would be scary. Because just think about the potential they have when all cylinders click. That defense, the offense.
I think rings talk, and I mean Matthew Stafford's got the ring to back it up. I mean he's got experience, playoff experience. So I mean, there's the quarterback that's gonna, that could probably be all these teams are gonna be Matthew Stafford. I think probably the Rams are the scary team, and they got the good coaching. Defense isn't the best, but they definitely got the offense to win.
Yeah, especially with Puka. I mean, Puka was. I'm not sure he's getting Rookie of the Year over C.J. Stroud, but I would say he's a firm second place right now for Rookie of the Year.
For sure.
It's a scary thing.
I just think because he's only 30 or 20-something yards away from that record.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if C.J. would somehow just have like a really shitty game, the odds could really switch. Yeah. Say if especially if the Rams beat them. I mean, I guess no, because the Niners are resting the starters. Yeah. You gotta take what you can get. Probably C.J. Stroud.
I think if C.J. Stroud especially gets in the playoffs, I think if they win this next week, he's guaranteed Rookie of the Year. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Moving on, the solidified MVP case. He might win it unanimously again. Lamar fucking Jackson. Ravens handling business, put a whooping on the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. Said fraud who? Man, they control the AFC now. Everything goes through Baltimore, which is a scary sight. If you're in the AFC, seeing that purple, seeing that stadium, it's a scary sight. There's nothing to say. I mean, Baltimore, like I said, there's no other team. There's no other team in this league you can just say is dominant.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ravens. I mean, Lamar was making most of his plays were in the pocket. That's really what's scary, right? Because he beat you on the legs the other couple weeks, and he comes in and drops 300 yards this game. Yeah. I mean, it was ridiculous. Zay Flowers is electric. Odell is back. Bateman is still solid. Isaiah Likely is taking over for Andrews. The Andrews can still come back in the playoffs. If the Ravens have that two tight end in front, goodbye. Yeah. I mean, what y'all got on the Ravens, man? They just every week they show you why they put a whooping on the Niners and Miami. I mean, what y'all got to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, you said that Lamar put up 300 yards, but he also threw 18 for 21. He had an 85% completion rate, which is insane in the NFL, and he had 5 touchdowns as well. I mean, they put in their backups in the fourth quarter. Yeah. This is the Dolphins team that came out and beat the Cowboys this last week. Mm-hmm. We all thought it was going to be a pretty close game. Honestly, we all thought the Ravens were going to win, but we thought it was going to be much closer than this. The Dolphins proved that they had a defense as well as an offense. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it looked like their defense just had no idea what was going on anywhere. I mean, every single time the ball was in the Ravens' hands, they scored on every single possession. Every single possession on the Ravens, Ravens scored on every single possession they had, whether it was a field goal or a touchdown. They scored 80% touchdowns, 20% field goals on every single possession. Their offense their offense was just insane. Like you said, Flowers came out to play. Hill came out to play as well. Likely came out to play as well. Plus, Gus Edwards got in that late touchdown. Ran for 68 yards. Justice Hill came in and with those few little sneak runs and got I didn't even know he carried for 50 yards, which is crazy. But Justice Hill ran for 50 yards as well. Lamar didn't even have to scramble as much. I mean, he still ran for 35 yards, but he didn't have to scramble as much as he usually does. Which, don't get me wrong, he's the best scrambling quarterback in the NFL. Long term, I'm not sure if that's healthiest. If if he's sliding down forever, I'm not sure that he's the one that needs to be putting up the yards on his feet. I'm glad that he is available for the option, but I feel as though it should be the last case option just to keep him as healthy as for as long as he can, because right now he is the best quarterback in the NFL. It's not even close. There's no discussion about it whatsoever. So I feel like as though Ravens can keep him healthy, keep them going, Ravens going to have a dynasty for the next decade, I feel like. Plus with that one touchdown that with OBJ, I mean, OBJ is still playing. I don't know if y'all saw that one catch that got him the touchdown, but I mean, that was
OBJ's back.
I mean, OBJ still got hands.
Yeah.
So that
You see his pregame warm up? He's still probably the best pregame performer of all time. Bro. He'd be having some crazy.
His pregame shows, especially on the Giants, were he always put up a little show even before the game. But yeah, I mean, the Ravens are clearly the number one seed in the NFL by far. I wouldn't even I put them 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, argue with your mama. Like,
yeah, it's not even arguable at this point if they're the top. They've proved that they're the top. As long as they keep on going they're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yep. Moving on, we got hold up, technical difficulty. Buffalo, New England. I mean, Buffalo pretty much held the lead for at least the second half of the game. New England tried to make it close with a little touchdown at the end, but yeah, I mean the Buffalo. I mean they're just that team that can really. It's Josh Allen, right? Josh Allen's scary, right? And then if they get the running game with Cook going, yeah, that'll cause you a lot of problems. The defense could still be had. They're just missing a lot of pieces. That's like Tre'Davious White, all of that. We know that Matt Milano, but yeah, Josh Allen is scary, and I think this week it's literally you win the AFC. What is it, South? The AFC South, or they're literally out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
they win the division, or they're out of the playoffs, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Right. If they win, Dolphins are just wild card, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Dolphins are locked in. It's the Bills that have to
Yeah.
range. But the Bills can get in if the Jaguars lose or some shit.
I think Jaguars have to lose, and then
or Jaguars or the
Steelers.
Or the Steelers could lose.
Steelers definitely losing.
So I think I don't know.
I mean, Steelers beat the Ravens last time.
Yeah, but Lamar's not fucking around like last time. I mean, he's on an MVP tear right now. You think he's gonna let Steelers beat him? Mason Rudolph, Roquan Swift gonna pull a Miles Garrett on Mason
They're
Rudolph.
not playing their starters. It's all backups. That's if they want to allow it. Honestly, I feel like the Ravens take the Steelers enough though.
Oh, you think Tyler Huntley can't win that game? Tyler Huntley's still good.
I'm not even saying he's bad. I think the Steelers have a chance of winning purely because Lamar's not going to be playing by any means. They're definitely not going to put in. I don't think even Edwards will play. I don't think Likely's going to play. Yeah. But with that being said, everyone knows the Ravens fucking hates the Steelers. I feel like Ravens are going to put in. I think that even though they said they're not going to play their starters, I feel as though if it is looking like they're going to lose, they're going to put in their starters.
No, not if they lose. No, hell no.
No, I think they're going to try to keep the players or the Steelers out of the playoffs.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Let one of those players get hurt and see how Harbaugh gets torched.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like.
I mean, just for reference, Bradley Chubb tore his ACL in the Ravens game at the final 4 minutes because they're getting blown out and they're losing. So if they're already losing, come on, bro, you're not going to put your starters there, especially after that. No,
I don't know.
What you got on?
Man, sorry, my brain just froze. I'm sorry, guys.
So yeah, I mean, next up we got Colts Raiders 23-20. I mean, Colts handling business. Colts are on that underdog run. I don't really expect them to win a game, but they have every ability to win a game.
I picked them to get in the playoffs, so I guess I'm going to pick them over Houston.
Did you pick them with Gardner Minshew? Did you pick them with Anthony Richardson?
Gardner Minshew. I guess it was before it. After he already got hurt.
Okay.
I picked them and the Bills to get in. I picked the Bengals to get in. That's far fetched now. So.
Yeah. I mean,
that division right now is crazy. The Texans, Colts, Jaguars. Because right now they're all three fighting this next week to get either the AFC South division title or the playoff berth.
Yeah.
Only two of those three teams are making it.
It's crazy because the Jaguars collapsed, honestly, in the second half of the season because they were, what were they, 8-3 at one time?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Which honestly, I don't feel as though they deserve the aim 3. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is playing great, but I don't know if they were.
They had some tough opponents. They played the 49ers, they played the Ravens.
Yeah.
It's some tough games.
Oh, yeah, we missed this last week.
We still got,
Cincy.
Atlanta, Chicago, but Chicago. This is more of a Justin Fields stay game. Like fans are more on Justin Fields' side. Like I said, I think he should stay with the Bears. I wouldn't be mad.
They locked it in this week.
Yeah, and that people are saying they can get a second rounder for Justin Fields if they would trade him and get those picks. I just don't think you should, right? Justin Fields in Atlanta would feed families because he's from there. Michael Vick 2.0, we already know. But I just think you have that environment, plus especially if Eberflus is staying, he's gotten the team worked up in the last couple weeks. It looks good. It's kind of like the Lions last year, not as quite, where they were chasing the playoffs until they lost last week. But
it's like if they keep Fields and they keep the number 1 pick and they get like Marvin Harrison Jr., is that what's going to fix their offense or their team?
You get Marvin Harrison to expand your offense, right?
Yeah.
Give Fields more options, and then you get. I think they have like the 11th pick now. Just get like another defensive monster somewhere. Khalil Herbert, that running back is solid. They don't need a running back. Cole Kmet, the line probably needs some work. Probably you can maybe grab him in the second round, third round, see what happens with that. Maybe sign one in the offseason. I don't know how the cap hell is.
Maybe they trade the first pick down and maybe still get Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know.
Yeah, because Marvin's not going
gonna
number 1. I feel like a team might take that. If they're not going to trade Fields, a team might try to trade for that number 1 pick. Exactly. And then Bears might get even more out of that. So
yeah. But they could trade down. I think they'd be fine. You could trade down to almost like 4. Because you already know that Caleb Williams will be gone. Michael Penix Jr. probably second or third. You got Drake May will be in there. So you could probably trade to 4 to get some decent capital. We probably swap. I don't know who the 4th pick would be. Probably even get a second rounder out of it or more.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff you can do there.
I really think the Bears should keep Fields. Because you're not gonna get a better year out of that than Caleb Williams. You're just not.
You're just restarting again at that point.
Cody, what you got?
Yeah, I feel like the Bears have a good core that they're trying to build around. I can see that the image that you're trying to do, build around a young team, get their recruits that they need to. And honestly, the recruits that they have gotten the past 2 years have been playing pretty efficiently. They have to.
Freaking dog. DJ Moore's a dog. I've been saying that. I just didn't think him in Carolina was the real fit. Now him in Chicago is a great fit.
Yeah. But like you are saying, they're definitely going to have to make some wise pickups this next year to become anything. I think, if we're going to be honest, the Packers are more of a threat this next draft than the Bears are, only because the Packers are the youngest team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, with the way that Jordan Love's been playing, they have a great core around him. It looks like Packers are going to make the playoffs as long as they win out this next week. So honestly, I'm more excited about the Packers and that young team more than I am the Bears. I feel like the Packers could come back and bring on a dynasty, almost like the Aaron Rodgers days. I'm not sure Jordan Love is quite the Aaron Rodgers caliber, but I feel as though they're wise enough. They have who's their head management? What's his name?
Before?
Not before?
Yeah, no, the GM. Who's their GM? I can't even name him. But, whatever he's been doing the past 2 years, building around Jordan Love, which is what they've needed to do, has been great. Everyone is...
Brian Gutekunst, whatever.
And then they just get him a few years ago as well.
Something like that.
Yeah, I believe he's the one that started building that.
In 2018, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that started building that young team behind Aaron Rodgers. So as soon as Aaron Rodgers didn't end up finally leaving out, they have a good solid core that they're building up on. So I feel as though Packers are going to make the playoffs next year, guaranteed. I feel, and they're going to be great for the next 5 years. I think they're the best upcoming young team. I think the Bears, don't get me wrong, are going to be great on the upcoming years, but I think Packers are going to be scary the next few years. So.
I mean, I thought they would be scary this year, but obviously Love had a little learning curve. They still have some learning receivers. So yeah, you just add a couple more pieces. Packers will definitely be back up there where they need to be. Lions are probably ahead of the division for the next 2 or 3 years, I would think. But yeah, Packers could very well challenge that if they want to.
Yeah, that division is going to be tough. Yeah. Minnesota's got talent too, which I don't know what they're going to do with Jefferson.
That's why I'm like, you make the right quarterback move. I mean, Jefferson hasn't got paid yet, right?
Nope. And
So,
you think they're gonna keep him?
The NFL has never been more competitive, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not like bad teams anymore. I feel like every team is capable.
And on top of that, this next quarterback class are all more experienced than the ones before. Like they're all like 22, 23, 24, right? Like
And there's a lot of great teams that could just need quarterbacks.
exactly.
I mean, I can think of the Patriots. I could think of the Falcons. I could think of
Like real quick, I would put Drake May on the Commanders. Say if Fields stays there. Put Penix on the Falcons or the Saints. You put Caleb Williams on the Jets. Jets, Cardinals, depending on who they keep.
You think they're on those Jets?
don't have a first round pick this year, do they?
No.
Who? Which one?
Oh, and the Packers have the Jets pick.
Yeah.
Okay, but Cardinals are still lottery. What, the number 4? He won't go that low, really.
Oh, see, now that you're saying that, I think that Kyler might leave, and I think the Cardinals might be picking up a quarterback this next year.
Yeah, because I think Cardinals are top 5 for sure. I know that, but
Cardinals from like 2. Yeah.
so I'm just like you just dice these quarterbacks up, bro. Next year can be real interesting.
Mm-hmm. Which is what the NFL needs. I mean, I feel like the NFL's great this year besides quarterbacks, we're going to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still that solid core of the top 10 quarterbacks, but below the top 10, I feel it's just a bunch of average-ass quarterbacks right now. I feel, this next draft is going to be a big difference for a lot of these lower NFL teams. It's great.
For sure. Next up, real quick, I mean, not too much to talk about. Trevor Lawrence didn't even play. Carolina's not a good team. Jacksonville 26-0. Just handling business. We'll really see what they got this week. I think they still make the playoff regardless, right?
No. Jaguars could get out too.
What?
Yeah, Jaguars could get out. That's what I'm saying. It's a fight between all three of those teams right now.
Well, damn. I mean, I'm not high on the Jaguars anyways, but yeah.
So if the Jaguars lose and the Colts win and the Texans win, Jaguars are out. That's so as of right now, if Texans win, no matter what, they get the playoffs.
Yeah.
If the Colts win, no matter what, they get the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if the Jaguars lose, that winner of that game was the division, right?
Yeah.
And so the Texans or the Colts could host a playoff. It's crazy. Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what really fight right now.
Pittsburgh, Seattle, 30-23. I did say Seattle could probably lose this game, and they did. Just because I know that quarterback situation it seems to be just shaky. I mean, Geno still played decent, but I don't know. Is Geno a long-term answer? I don't know. To see y'all try to get one this year.
I bet they try to.
Because there's going to be some late-round quarterbacks, too. You still got, like, McCarthy and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of great options this year, and I feel like Geno's just not making the cut to be the top 10.
And he's older. I mean, you took a chance on him. He's experienced. He got you to the playoffs. Probably getting you to the playoffs again, but maybe, depending on this
There's not
week.
a lot of growth there with them. I feel like they reached their ceiling last year, and that's just a borderline playoff team. That's what they'll always be. I feel like with Geno. They just don't have a high enough draft pick to get, Williams, Penix, Drake May. They might get someone like Ewers from Texas, maybe.
That's not bad. Is Ewers going to the draft?
I'm saying, Arch Manning's going to kick him out the door.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I forgot about Honestly, with the way he played, it might be time for him to let Arch take it over.
Yeah, Seahawks only make playoffs this year if Packers lose. Seahawks have to win and Packers have to lose for them to make it. Packers win, then Seahawks are out of playoffs this year.
Kansas City taking care of business, shutting down Jamar's trash talk. But then again, it's against a beaten Bengals. Browning didn't play his hottest game. Patrick Mahomes, handling business. They're still a scary team. They still could very well be the best team in the AFC on any given Sunday. Just I'm not. It's just Patrick is like kind of like not at that level yet, but he's almost Tom Brady level, and the fact that you just don't bet against him.
I'd say he's on Brady level at this point. I feel like that's definite.
I
feel like him and Andy Reid and Mahomes are pretty much Brady Belichick.
I just think he looked too cute with his plays. Like, when Tom Brady was down in the fourth, bro, he ain't playing no games. He was everything just seemed so direct. Like, he knew that was gonna happen. It's like he knew the first 4 drives of the whole thing. But I don't know. What y'all got on the game?
I think Pacheco was the MVP. I feel like of the Chiefs this last week. I mean, I feel like he came out ranked for 130 yards. Bengals really could not stop him. He was averaging 7.2 yards per carry.
Rasheed Rice is also a dog.
Rasheed Rice is.
He's the wide receiver that they need, but it's like they don't give him the ball enough for him to make the plays sometimes. It's like, I don't know. And Tony didn't play, so that was they couldn't get no more drops. And like you said, I think I seen on Twitter, it's like Kadarius needs 3 more drops to get a $100,000 bonus.
Yeah, so they finally took out that Defensive Player of the Year, which is good. I mean, Kadarius Toney, there's no reason he should have even been playing. He was definitely on track to win Defensive Player of the Year, 5 interceptions so far. I think he had 9 drops this year. So it's good that they're finally rotating out the wide receivers. I mean, Bengals didn't even look terrible, if we're going to be honest. They came out and put a better show on than I thought they were going to. But, I mean, when the Chiefs catch the ball, they're a deadly team. When they caught the ball this last week, they only had 2 drops, it looks like this last week is what it's saying. So, they came out with the victory. It is pretty great victory. So, they needed this. They secured their top seed. We'll see what they do in the playoffs.
The last 2 games, I mean, Denver, Chargers, Denver's already eliminated, right?
They both are.
Yeah, and absolutely irrelevant. Green Bay got the big win. I mean, we already talked about them.
Green Bay needed that win.
Yeah.
Now Green Bay's fine for playoffs.
I mean, this Saturday we got Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Houston, Colts. So we know what those games mean. Other big games.
Pittsburgh. I mean, Baltimore's probably not going to play starters either, because they're locked in as the 1 seed, right?
Yeah, they're not going to play.
So Steelers got to damn near cakewalk into the damn playoffs. They got to win to get in, correct?
No.
Or Steelers not in.
They don't have to win. I think they can win. I think they just have to play. Like, am I?
No.
Because I seen something. They can literally make it at 9-8. I just forgot who had to lose.
Steelers only make it. Hold on, I got it right here. Steelers only make it if they win and the Bills lose or the Jags lose.
Damn.
Okay.
Pittsburgh was in. Damn, that's crazy.
Interesting. Okay.
So as long as the Bills win and the Jags win, Steelers are not making the playoffs.
That's fine. I mean, it's not like they literally been swapping quarterbacks. They don't need to be in the playoffs.
I mean, it would just be good for Mike Tomlin at that point.
Fuck Mike Tomlin.
No,
Mr. Mid. What did they judge Steelers in Pittsburgh? They judged them by rings. How many rings did Tomlin have? 1, like 10 years ago.
Bro, they don't have a single star on their team. They're 9-7.
Hey, but how long has Tomlin been mid for? That's an organizational problem.
The same record as the Browns without a defense.
That's an organizational problem. They ain't drafting good enough. They really aren't, though. You think about it, like what draft picks? I mean, TJ Pickens is nice. Like pass shot. I mean, AB was cool. I mean, he was a 6th rounder, right?
Yeah. Le'Veon Bell back in the day.
Le'Veon. It's just not too many. I mean, Shazier.
I'll sleep on Rudolph now.
All right.
Joey Porter Jr. is the dog.
Oh, Porter. Yeah, Porter. Yeah, they got a nice little young core. It seems like they're finally getting back on track, but I don't know. Tomlin, Mr. Mid. Right.
Steelers actually are one of the oldest teams in the NFL right now.
Older?
Older.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Here, I'll go. Is that all the games for this last week?
Yeah, Browns Jets, but Joe Flacco, solid performance.
Oh, yeah. Here, let me speak on that for a second. If we're talking about the first half of that game, I'm thinking Browns are winning the Super Bowl. I'm going to be honest with you.
Man.
The second half
That was the Browns Super Bowl.
Absolutely pitiful. I'm going to be honest with you. Joe Flacco threw for 23 yards in the second half.
Yeah.
They had a total of 83 yards in the second half.
Yep.
I think they got a field goal total in the second half. I mean, don't get me wrong. The defense came out to play, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I think that Joe Flacco even got to 300 yards in the first half is just because Jets defense sucked. I mean, it looked like they had no idea what they were doing. Luckily, Jerome Ford came out to play. Unfortunately, I don't know. How long is Jerome Ford hurt for? Is he out for the rest of the year? Because if he's out for the rest of the year, I think that hurts their chances a lot. But the way I would almost say Jerome Ford was the MVP of last week. And I'm not talking about MVP of that game. I'm talking about MVP of the week.
Yeah, for sure. Ford had a nice week. They had some big plays.
Huge plays. But, I mean, yeah, everyone knows what these Browns are capable of doing defensively, and now that Joe Flacco's there, I'm not even going to say he's a top 10 quarterback, I'm going to be honest with you. But he's more consistent than all of their other options, which is all the Browns need. Today's NFL is all about you don't need a great quarterback to make it far. Obviously, having a great quarterback will help you out a lot as Ravens are dominant all the way around. Ravens clearly dominant number one. Great defense, great offense, great quarterback. But the Browns are definitely. I think as of right now, the Ravens' biggest threat is the Browns. So we'll see. If it was first half Browns, I would say the Browns win that game 90% of the time. Unfortunately, it wasn't the first half the entire game. The second half just would. If they play the Ravens and play like how they did in the second half, they're going to get stomped on just like the Dolphins. So we'll see how this.
I don't think so. Jim Schwartz, when he faces those division opponents, he turns into a different dog. Schemes it up crazy. You know who Lamar is. Faced him for 2, 3, 4 years, whatever the case may be. I think any Browns game against the Ravens is going to be close, right? As long as Joe Flacco does what he needs to do, right? He can have a turnover or two and still win the game. That's just how the Browns are.
I think they only got their points against the Jets because of Jets' mistakes. I don't think it was anything exceptional besides Jerome Ford. I think Jerome Ford single-handedly got them 14 points just because he broke, 7 tackles? I think it said this last week. But besides that, I think they just capitalized off of Jets' mistakes. I don't think Ravens are going to make those mistakes by any means. I think that the Browns are going to have to put up points if they're going to want to beat the Ravens. And I think it's a solid defense that the Ravens have right now. I'm not. First half, I think they might have been able to put up some points, but second half, Browns is not going to have any points against the Ravens. Especially without Jerome Ford.
That'll cover the NFL slate. I mean, week 18, we have a lot to talk about. I mean, heading into the playoffs, we might be having our damn funeral. We might need to dress in all black.
Hey, we could be the 2 seed, though.
We can either be the 2 seed
or
or
walk in a 2 seed.
Or I'm walking in an all black suit, singing Sirianni's funeral.
Hey, we just said it just now, though. If the Eagles and Dallas end up playing in the playoffs in Dallas, I'm going back to Dallas to watch another game.
Oh, bro, that's shit. You saying that, but I'm just like, the playoff environment is completely different.
We'll be prepared, though.
And we definitely got to get sit-down seats so we can talk shit in peace. Y'all catch up on any other news in the week? Anything life-wise, sports?
Honestly, no, I haven't seen any. What's anything going on right now this week?
Not that I see.
I don't know. Nothing that goes on in the world around me.
Saw some shit about what is it, the Stanley Cups or some shit. I guess those are called.
But what is the deal with them Stanley Cups?
I don't know.
I'm used to the damn Yetis.
Yeah, so the Yeti was big for a while.
And then people coming out with Stanleys. I'm like,
Stanley makes the girl colors. That's the thing. Yeti never made the pink. Stanley started making the pink.
The hell you need a pink cup? Why do you need 5 32-ounce cups for?
5 32-ounce cups that cost $60 each. That's the problem.
Be matching it with the damn outfits. I'm like, all right.
But I bought these little fuckers on DHgate, these little $4.32.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me. They keep the ice cold 24 hours. There's still ice in there. I ain't gonna lie. $4 on DHgate. Y'all want the league.
Speaking of DHgate, you seen these reps coming off of DHgate?
God damn, I'm about $14 merchandise.
Yes, but I ain't even gonna say too much. I seen a family member bought one for my a closer family member. I immediately saw the difference. Now there are some real ones on there, but like these reps on there are crazy.
Really?
So like yeah, there are some that like you could probably get away with.
Wow.
Now you wouldn't know though because the pictures are all pictures you just see online. You wouldn't know till you get it. But you take a little chance, you might cash out.
I will say, don't buy the sterling silver on Temu. I made that mistake one time and I hopped in the shower. I thought I was using that purple shampoo. My shit was all green down my neck. I wasn't sure what was going on.
Right.
But besides that, I feel like most of the shit is solid upon that.
That's what you get, penny pincher. God damn it!
I should have known. It said 14 ounces of sterling silver for $3.79. I said, God damn, I'm breaking.
If Walmart's the cheapest place to get a necklace, and they don't even sell a $3 necklace. Come on, bro.
I was looking at pawn shops to go and just resell it.
Did they take it?
No, not if they're green.
No. We should have went to damn Pawn Stars in LA. Vegas.
See, I heard that line out that door is 45 minutes. Either so,
I heard it's usually empty. That's the issue.
I feel like the pawn shops around here would be better. I feel like you're only going there to say that you've been to Pawn Stars pawn shop.
Yeah.
I feel like they ain't got no steals in that Pawn Stars pawn shop. If you've been on TV for how many seasons they've been on, they don't even have to have steals. They know people showing up anyways.
Oh yeah.
Brock Bauer just announced for the draft. Oh yeah, that's a for sure top 10 pick. Tight end from Georgia.
Hell, I've been cooking it up. I got the blacksmith grill now.
Oh yeah.
Blacksmith's been coming key. Let me tell you what.
You tried to buy hibachi on it yet?
We ain't done hibachi yet. We did burgers. We done breakfast a couple times.
That's why I want that indoor one.
Curtis been doing the carne asada.
Ooh, it was good too. Let me tell you about them street tacos. Ooh.
Man.
How are the mules?
Oh, that was good too.
Is it good?
Oh yeah. I just use my little coffee mugs too. You close your eyes, you can imagine the 10 in the mouth. It's almost the same thing. But back to football real quick. I just looked up the mock NFL draft. As of right now, it looks like Caleb Williams is going to be the first pick. And it looks like the Bears
Wow.
are taking Caleb Williams. I forgot that the Panthers gave away their first pick to the Bears.
Yep.
I mean, that's just a mock draft. We know that, like, if they keep Fields, they can trade that for even more capital. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you literally could cash out this draft.
Would you rather have Justin Fields over Caleb Williams?
Yes.
Really?
I said that. Yes. I'm taking Fields over any quarterback in that draft.
If they were both in the same draft, I'd pick Caleb Williams. But the thing is, the capital that you get by having that number one pick and being able to trade it or take, Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of. I mean, how they could pick.
The only upside, right, is that you don't have to pay the $200 million to Fields. Probably in next year or the year after. I think that's the only upside to this. But
they could do that. They could start the new rookie contract with Caleb Williams and put all their money on all the pieces that they need right now.
But the thing is, they take Caleb Williams at the one. They don't have enough team to win for 2 or 3 years.
And Caleb Williams is not a leader right now. He might be when he gets into that locker room.
So they could trade. They could keep their one pick, and they got the 10th pick, 11th pick, or something too.
They got the 10th as well, yeah.
Yeah, they could pick 2 wide receivers. They could pick a wide receiver and a lineman. They could pick 2 defensive players.
So do you expect them to build around Justin Fields?
I think.
Yeah,
yes.
I do. Yes.
Interesting.
Unless they get a hell of a fucking deal.
I'm like, if you can,
Atlanta trades like the first and the second,
exactly, right,
and then you got 3 of the top 20 picks in the draft, then you give it a shot.
God. Breaking news: Brad Allen, the ref who screwed up the Cowboys Lions, is now reffing Ravens Steelers. 2 national back-to-back games, bro.
Come on, man.
Fucking NFL. Yeah, y'all got anything else before we close out of here?
That's about it. And that's all I got. Rest of the games next week.
Starting next week too, we'll probably start covering the NBA more, starting to spice up.
Mhm.
I'm wearing my little OKC shirt. Have to switch over because my Bulls are pretty shitty today.
OKC's looking real nice too.
Yeah.
Aren't they still that 3rd seed?
I just don't think. I love OKC, but it's like that young Thunder team with KD in them. They're like one piece away.
Yeah.
You face even like the Warriors, a experienced playoff team, even though they're doing shitty, but they'll dice up the Thunder, the 7-game series.
No, right now Thunder and Celtics are playing. This will be. I mean, Thunder whooped on the Nuggets every time they played them. They beat them by 30 3 days ago.
7-game series. That's all I'm saying. Playoff Jokic, come on. Jokic hit a spinning one-legged fadeaway on the best defender in the league.
God damn, sure I got 40 on that game.
Sorry, I say Jokic, you joker. Timberwolves are also like a fake first seed because like I don't trust them in any playoff series. Personally, I trust AE, but Cat, that boy would be disappearing, bro.
You been playing well.
Who?
Cat.
What the fuck?
You sure been playing well.
What the heck? All right, we're gonna.
Cat and Ant.
Ant definitely,
Yeah.
but Cat, I just seen the game where like Ant went for 30 and Cat had 8 points. Cat had 8 points. A
Yeah,
second
got like
star.
14
A second star had 8 points. He's
Yeah,
Anthony Davis
14
2.0. Anthony Davis 2.0. Let me see. Look against the. Let's see. The Knicks. I mean, it's fucking Julius Randle.
Yeah, this is a big game this week.
He had 9 points. Yeah, 9 points against the Lakers.
He is averaging 21 and a half a game, though.
10 points against the
50%
freaking Mavs.
shooting.
That's what I'm saying. He's
9
not playing terrible.
rebounds, 3
He's not one of
assists.
the superstars this year, but I mean, he's not playing terrible. He's playing consistent.
What's his field goal percentage? Someone give me his field goal
He's a good
percentage.
number 2 star. I mean, he don't have to be that. What would you say?
Ah,
See,
fine.
that's the thing. I feel like he's always wanted to be that number 1 star, and I'm glad that he's finally taken the seat back,
Yeah,
which is what I feel like is needed to happen.
for sure. And I think he accepts that.
Which is,
Because I don't even think he liked all the attention, bro. He was pissed every time Shaq would talk about him. Call him soft. But yep, just gonna wrap it up.
I'm gonna say it's a pretty dang good week.
Got another night at the office, end of the shift. We gonna clock out. Catch y'all later.
Oh, that's right. Night, y'all.